Deep within Rajasthan, the Aravalli Range cuts across the desert landscape, creating miles of dry, rugged isolation. According to local legend, this stretch of earth was once a lush forest of jewels. But to protect humanity from the greed and violence such wealth would invite, the goddess Shakambhari Devi cursed the land, turning its riches into an endless plain of salt. A temple dedicated to her remains on the shoreline today as a monument to that enduring myth. But the true origin of this landscape lies in its physical geography. This vast, barren expanse is a continuous 35.5-kilometer elliptical depression in the earth, and its shape sets up a mechanical trap that creates an entirely different kind of miracle. This arid depression is fed by 5 rivers: Menda, Rupangar, Samod, Kari, and Kandela. Walled in by the Aravalli Range, the pooling water hits a dead end, with no channel, gradient, or route to the ocean. The only exit strategy for the pooling liquid is the intense desert sun. As surface water evaporates into the atmosphere, it leaves behind every heavy mineral, particulate, and salt molecule carried in by those 5 rivers. Over millennia, this one-way valve built up an immense concentration of dissolved solids. What started as fresh river runoff condensed into an extreme chemical environment, effectively building a massive open-air mine that industry inevitably moved in to exploit. Today, Sambhar Lake is the largest inland saltwater lake in India, serving as an absolute powerhouse for the country's mineral processing sector. To process the highly concentrated brine, engineers divided the lake with a 5.1-kilometer-long sandstone dam, routing the densest water into an immense grid of evaporation ponds located to the east. This chart illustrates the scale of that extraction. These ponds yield approximately 200,000 tons of salt annually, accounting for nearly 9. As their populations explode in the shallow sunlit ponds, they create the red and pink pigments that bleed out into the surrounding water. These microbial blooms are so pervasive and dense that they even stain the freshly crystallized salt, giving the raw harvest its distinctive earthy tones. The resilient bacteria surviving in this hostile soup are the actual jewels of Sambhar Lake. By thriving where nothing else can, they transform a static chemical basin into a highly active biological engine. That microscopic biological engine immediately scales up to support a much larger set of consumers, hundreds of thousands of migratory birds. The colored, nutrient-rich water acts as an expansive feeding ground. The extreme density of algae and bacteria creates a specialized, nearly infinite food source. And that exact microbial diet is precisely what sustains massive flocks of lesser and greater flamingos. Because this specific food source is so rare and abundant here, Sambhar Lake operates as the most critical wintering area for flamingos anywhere in India, outside of the Rann of Kutch. It presents a fascinating ecological paradox. A high salinity environment that kills off standard aquatic life forms the perfect, customized sanctuary for a highly specialized species. The flamingos are joined by a broad diversity of other migratory species relying on the oasis, including pelicans, shell ducks, sandpipers, and lapwings. This immense ecological value, running perfectly parallel to human industry, led to the lake's formal protection. In 1990, it was officially designated as a wetland of international importance, a Ramsar Site. Looking back at the physical mechanics of the basin, the trapped river water never created a dead zone. The depression forced a dense, vital convergence of incoming water, heavy minerals, and highly adapted biology. Extreme geography forces magnificent adaptation. The ancient myth was right to describe this place as a treasure, as it operates as an entirely irreplaceable engine for Indian industry